And right now, again, these are just drills that the Noles are going through. This is their normal work from the 12-yard line. So they've run a couple of plays. They had a 1-yard run and an incomplete pass right there. And we get to watch him in the turquoise, by the way.
How about the freaking color on this jersey right here? And, like, this is one of the coolest. At some point in the season, Coach Norvell's going to have to bring this out to a home game. But, again, this is the Seminole Heritage jersey right here that the quarterbacks and even some of the defenders are wearing, which means they're a limited guy. Like, you can't go in there and just hit them full speed. Coming back from injuries, but obviously you don't want to see your quarterback get hit anytime in the scrimmage.
Well, they brought some pressure on him that time from Marvin Jones Jr., one of the guys that you had mentioned, on DJ. And Mike Norvell said to us yesterday that Uiagalelei has performed at a very high level. And he said to us, now it's just a matter of the repetition. They want to emphasize consistency, footwork, rhythm, timing, a lot of what you just talked about in the clips we saw.
Coach Norvell also talked about elite arm talent. When you turn the tape on of DJ Uiagalelei, whether it was at Clemson, whether it was at Oregon State, you could see him having the ability to really make any throw on the football field. My biggest key and the thing that I want to see today in this scrimmage is him just take a little bit off of that football on the intermediate routes, because look, playing quarterback is not just about the 60-yard bomb. It's also hitting the 5-yard slant. It's also knowing where to go on a certain protection. So those are the small things that DJ's going to continue to gain confidence in doing. Because keep in mind, he's a new quarterback here. So it's not like this is his offense. This is something that Coach Norvell is still trying to teach and implement him also within that quarterback room.
Saw Ryan Fitzgerald, the 6th-year senior, who had a great bounce-back season last year. Still with this program, connected right there from 39 yards. So the offense talking things over. And again, this is what the structure today will be. It's not a true spring game. They call it the spring showcase. But we will get to see a lot of the offense going right up against the defense.
DJ Uiagalelei, upon arrival here, is that he reminds them in his leadership style of Jordan Travis. It's low-key, it's leading by example, and he's made a seamless transition to one of the team's leaders. He's also made a seamless transition to Tallahassee, guys. He said it's bigger than both Corvallis and Clemson, so he likes it. He's living here with his longtime girlfriend, Ava Pritchard, a former Clemson volleyball player who is also with him in Corvallis. He turned 23 this week, and when I asked him what he did to celebrate his birthday, where he went to dinner, he said he took a cheat day and went to McDonald's. He had a McChicken sandwich. So DJU keeping it simple here in Tallahassee as he settles into his new environment.
So not at Shula's, not at Madison Social, just give me the McChicken.
Yeah, I have to talk to DJ about that now, because we don't need too many nights out at McDonald's. But I got another good restaurant for him, too. It's called Lucilla's. Went there last night, had a good time on my way in from the airport.
Lawrence Toafili got the jet sweep pitch from DJU and took it to the edge.
And this is actually some great reps down here, and we call the low red. So if you're starting the ball on the 12-yard line, as you get closer inside the 10, this is where things start moving a lot faster, where the windows for these throws get a lot quicker. And also, even for the defense, huge reps down here because, again, things are happening much quicker, and you got to make sure you're really sharp in your alignment and your assignments.
That's a 3rd down rep for Uiagalelei and the first-team offense. Toafili, the 5th-year senior, takes it in for a touchdown. Well, they expect big things from Lawrence Toafili with Trey Benson gone, of course. He's one of the leaders.
Yeah, he's one of the top dogs coming back this year. You got to set the edge there of the defense, but they don't do it. Toafili gets to that outside piece.
Slow to get up there. Sean Murphy, one of the transfers we showed you right off the top. Linebacker transferred in from Alabama, former highly regarded recruit, was in the top 40 of the ESPN 300, and good to see that he's able to walk off under his own power. So Ryan Fitzgerald comes back out. And by the way, we will get into true scrimmage action. We'll have a 15-minute first quarter and a 10-minute second quarter.
Those guys are going to be longtime NFL players, and Jarrett Verse, probably a top 20 pick in this year's draft. Really could have been last year, but decided to come back. It's going to be working well for all these young men about to get paid.
Look who's in the building.
JT.
QB1.
Legend. I tell you what, man, so proud of Jordan really just being, you know, not just a great leader, not just a good person, but also his perseverance throughout his time here at Florida State. Because we can all go back to, 3 seasons ago where, again, it wasn't necessarily going as great offensively. The fan base was feeling a certain type of way. Jordan even thought about changing positions, but Coach Norvell said, absolutely not. We are going to get this thing figured out. And Jordan went right back to work, and that's exactly what he does. And now he's about to end up being an NFL quarterback and also one of the legends coming out of Florida State.
Come on back to Tallahassee right after this. And now we do start true scrimmage action here. 15 minutes for the first quarter, 10 minutes for the second quarter. What we've been told is the drives will finish independent of the clock. They want to get their work in here in practice number 14 of 15.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are, again, crucial reps for all these players. Not just DJU. Of course, the microscope will be on him. But offensive line was a veteran group. The DBs also a veteran group. Good throw right there by DJU, but you got to come up with the catch as Keatron Portier with the drop. But I like it. Quick release. He saw it, he gripped it, and he ripped it.
Under some pressure, and even in just the stuff around the 12-yard line, we saw the defense generating some pressure on DJU.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this defensive line is no joke, man. And look, here's the thing. You got Patrick Payton coming back. Now you add Marvin Jones Jr. You got another transfer in Sione Lolohea. Want to make sure I say that correctly. And then just some rotational players. Daryl Jackson, he's back out there. So this is going to be a very tough group to block.
In the coverage, and that gets tipped and incomplete. DJ Lundy broke it up, and he steps into the top linebacking job after effectively serving as a third starting linebacker.
Yeah, DJ Lundy was a huge get because, again, he was in the transfer portal but decided to come back.
So it's third down for DJ Uiagalelei and this first-team Florida State offense against the first-team defense. Pressure comes, quick release, and nearly intercepted by Marvin Jones Jr., the defensive end and Georgia transfer.
He brought a fire zone right in front of DJ's face, and he thought he had a hot route right there, but nope, not too soon. You got Marvin Jones, number 7, the off defensive end, dropping back right into the throwing window. And the cool thing, again, I already mentioned Patrick Payton, Marvin Jones Jr. now, both guys around 6'5", 255, 260 pounds, but not only edge rushers, but also great threats in the PBU section here, getting his hand on the football.
And how about what Mike Norvell said to us? Yeah, we lose Jared Verse, but in Pat Payton and in Marvin Jones, they can be as good as we've had. And he said to us, that is saying a lot.
Yeah, so draft night, Thursday night, we're going to have like more of a smaller family get together back in Michigan City where I'm from. And then Friday night, when I kind of expect to be drafted, will be we're having a big get together at a brewery downtown Michigan City. A lot of people are coming out. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah.
We got third down right now for the second team offense, quarterbacked by Trevor Jackson, freshman early enrollee, who is a walk-on here. No Brock Glenn or Luke Kromenhoek, a couple of quarterbacks who are in the mix with DJ Uiagalelei. So more reps here for Jackson with those two guys just dealing with some minor injuries.
Oh, yeah, and look, these are all really good reps for a young quarterback. Again, a true freshman, Trevor Jackson, early enrollee. Actually, I believe walked on to this football team, had some scholarship offers elsewhere, but wanted to be a Seminole and decided to walk on here for Florida State.
Have been committed to Ole Miss at one point. So a punt here, and Jalen Lucas is the Indiana transfer, and he's the Big Ten's reigning return specialist of the year. 3 kick return TDs in his time at Indiana. One of the fun transfer pieces that Mike Norvell was excited about when we chatted with him yesterday.
And Coach Norvell called Jalen Lucas the X factor, dynamic. Can do so many different things for this football team, whether it's at the running back position, at the receiver position, and right there as you see it as a punt returner and kick return specialist. So adding more speed to this football team, Mike. And look, at this day and age with football, that's what it's all about. Who has the most speed, but also can you compartmentalize that speed and still do your job? If you got 10+ guys moving like that, that means that those are some backups, all right? So if the starters come out that got all the speed, your 2s and your 3s, they can go out there and run as well.
All right, so DJ Uiagalelei's second drive. Back out there with Roydell Williams, the Alabama transfer running back, behind him in the pistol. And here is Williams plunging right side behind an offensive line that returns a lot.
Yeah, offensive line, a very veteran group. And talking to Coach Alex Atkins, he said, look, I'm spoiled. I've had these guys for, 5 years now. And a lot of them, 2 of them were here before I was even here. So, again, when you got redshirt freshmen, 5-year seniors, the opposite of that, where a lot of these guys have played a ton of football. Maurice Smith, you bring back a first-team All-ACC left tackle, Darius Washington. You add T.J. Ferguson from Alabama, Jeremiah Byers, he's back. It's a really solid group there for a young quarterback in DJU.
Uiagalelei tucks it on second down. Pete. Yeah, here's the numbers we'll get with Pete in a sec here. Maurice Smith you're talking about, Darius Washington as well.
Yeah, Keandre Jones. And the biggest thing that stands out to me is all these young men played a lot of football last year. And again, even if you're a transfer, you come to a new system, you got to have experience. And that's something that Coach Atkins, the O-line coach and offensive coordinator, loves.
Uyunglele to the sideline, up the ladder, and that is caught. And that is Malik Benson, the Alabama transfer wideout, who Mike Norvell said to us yesterday, at that position, he's been our best guy.
Yeah, been one of the top guys. And again, he talks about his speed, the ability to take the top off.
Uyunglele's first completion, and it was good for 27 yards. Now he checks it down incomplete. Well, Benson's one of those weapons. I mean, Pete said earlier, stupid talent. And the praise was pretty heavy from Mike Norvell on Malik Benson, who just had 13 receptions last year at Bama.
And rightfully so. And you got to look at also who he caught that pass on. I mean, that's one of the top corners in the ACC, and Fentrell Cypress, another returner coming from that great team last year. So good on good playing themselves right now for Florida State.
Malik Benson said, I saw last year how they used Keon Coleman. Thought they could use me like that this year too. Roydell Williams.
There it is.
Finds some space.
There it is.
And breaks free for a touchdown from 30 yards.
It's a great run by Williams right there, showing patience inside the hole. And we already just talked about the offensive line, holding their edges, getting the hat placement correct. And again, Roydell Williams getting those feet up and down inside those tight gaps, and the ability to take it home with the speed. Also, look at the receivers downfield blocking. I know Ron Dugan's the receivers coach. He's going to love that one right there.
Was in a running back room last year with Jace McClellan, and before that in Tuscaloosa with Jameer Gibbs, Brian Robinson, and Najee Harris. This Trevor Jackson took off there for a few yards. There's a lot of new ones in the ACC. You saw Cam Ward for the Canes. We're watching DJ Uyunglele here for Mike Norvell.
Yeah, some really good quarterbacks this year in the ACC. You also got McCord there for Syracuse. A bunch of really good players. And again, guys who have played a lot of football. Tyler Shuck, he comes over to the Louisville. He's going to be their starting quarterback more than likely. So again, a really good group. And then also some great returners too.
As you go through them. Hank Bachmeier has been all over the place in his career. Same with Max Johnson, Grayson McCall, super accomplished quarterback, joining Dave Doran's team. You mentioned McCord exiting Ohio State. Malik Murphy, who was on display already. He's in action tonight, should say, here on ACC Network in Duke's spring game. And a guy you really liked in Ward when you saw him.
Yeah, well, Cam Ward looked really clean in their spring game. Did a really good job of showing deep balls, short football throws, and again, really the ability to be accurate on all three different levels within the quarterback position. So Miami looked really solid, but again, you got to take that over into the summer and hopefully stay healthy so they can be competitive this year. They got a big game starting out the season against Florida.
DJ Uyunglele leads the offense out again. 1 for 2 for that 27-yard strike to Malik Benson on the last drive. On a play fake.
Shot.
Clean pocket. A shot indeed downfield for Benson and incomplete.
I like it though. I like it. It's incomplete and really good coverage right there by Quindarius Jones, number 16.
Pretty good coverage as well from the sophomore DB you mentioned out of Meridian, Mississippi, Quindarius Jones. DJU pulls it, and there's nothing there on the right side as Blake Nicholson got to him. Sophomore linebacker from California, and he is a breakout candidate on this defense, according to Adam Fuller.
Yeah, I remember talking to Coach Fuller yesterday. He loves this young man. Again, the size, 6'3", 220 pounds, had 17 tackles last year, and not just a good player on the football field, also a 2023 academic All-ACC student athlete there. So he's going to play a huge role. Again, they're losing 2 really good linebackers going to the NFL in Deloach and Tatum Bethune. So now Nicholson's going to have to step up.
So, yeah, going to be an all-conference guy by the end of his career. Uyunglele under pressure, got it to the sideline and complete to his tight end, Jackson West. The redshirt junior, part of the crop, replacing Jaheim Bell.
And Coach Norvell really spoke highly of this tight end group. The big tight end Jackson West coming up with a huge catch right there to move the chains.
On the crowd here, and the ball is out from Keziah Holmes.
Peter Warwick, and also Seminole dad, Peter Warwick Sr. Walk me through, first of all, what it's been like, Peter, to see this program revived. ACC champions again, 13-0 undefeated last year. It has to make you and the legends from your era feel good to see FSU on this stage again.
It do make me feel good, man. It's an honor to be back, for one. And just to see how the program changed over the years and see how far it was and how it is right now, man, I just love it. I love the way, you know, we won all the games last year. We got cheated out of. Now, I'm gonna always say that. We got cheated out, but, you know, the good thing about it is I want to see how the kids respond to that, you know, how they come back from it and just go back and you got to do it again another year.
And one of the things Florida State did in your era is guys left and guys replaced them. Guys left and guys replaced them. What do you see from this team? I'm sure you've been around here in the spring for being able to replace double-digit draft picks next week.
Man, you know, that's the hard part about it, but when you playing behind guys who go to the NFL, that's when it's your opportunity, you got to make the best of it. And when you got somebody like a Verse and you play behind Verse, you're supposed to learn. You're supposed to learn from it. So therefore, when you get your opportunity, you make the best of it.
What's it been like to experience this program as a dad? Your son, Peter Ward Jr., is a defensive back, transferred up from FAU, I believe. What's it been like to experience the program that way?
Oh, man, it's special, man, because I tell my son all the time, you know, everybody don't get this opportunity. He got to cherish it and make it do what it do. And I told him it's a lot of people that's in this world that sitting in the crowd that don't get the opportunity to be on this field. And you never know which play gonna be your last play.
Well, our colleague E.J. Manuel up in the booth has a 5-week-old Romeo, and he's already hinting that he may come to FSU as well. So,
hey, E.J., I say congratulations, man, and hey, go Noles, baby.
Back to you guys.
How cool is that? A little shout out for Rome.
Absolutely. A little Romeo probably at home sitting on mom's arm right now. I appreciate that, Pete. And
offense number 63. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Just again, touching on Peter Ward, one of the guys that I grew up watching. I can remember that 99 game against Virginia Tech, the great catch that he had. And even myself coming in at Florida State, getting a chance to meet legends like him, like Charlie Ward, like Deion Sanders, Derrick Brooks, Warwick Dunn. I'm curious to see who's going to come out on top now because, again, I did that. I think it was 3 spring games ago. I was going against Danny Cannell.
And how many touchdowns did you have in the drives you called?
3 for 3, Mike.
Oh, interesting.
So, hey, there's a lot there where these coaches got to go out there and call some good plays, man.
DJU threw into coverage and nearly picked by Azareye'h Thomas, who has had a massive spring.
Been waiting to say his name, Azareye'h Thomas. They call him AZ, and again, this young man is primed to have a huge season. I love the break on the football, but more so the ability to also take this where you got to catch it. That's where the money is, Azareye'h. You got to come down with the catch, but if you notice, he's wearing number 8 this year, and you wonder why. Jalen Ramsey, a Florida State's Seminole legend as well. So I'm sure Azareye'h wants to have a season like Jalen Ramsey.
So it sets up third down for Uiagalelei, and he checks it down to Roydell Williams, takes it across the 50, and it brings up fourth down. How about what Adam Fuller said to us about Azareye'h Thomas, that he's the most improved player we have on the defense. And he said that's saying a lot because he's effectively a returning starter with all the reps he got last year. Right. And he told us that Thomas is probably grading out at 98 or 99% making the right play as you check out Adam Fuller tucked away in solitude up there in hiding.
Absolutely. Coach Fuller has some really good secondary players to work with this year, and Azareye'h Thomas is certainly going to be one of them. He's a junior this year, so hey, look, that means he's draft eligible. This is his money year, so I know he's going to be hard on himself about dropping that interception. But again, this ability to be smooth and be a long, rangy corner, that's what you see now in the NFL, and he certainly transfers perfectly.
It's a good defense, and Adam Fuller told us a very good secondary again this season. Cool future for this great venue. We're back in first quarter action here in this spring showcase for Florida State, coming off that excellent 13-win season. Proud owners of 23 wins over the last 2 seasons, best winning percentage in the ACC, and top 5 in the country.
And so now it's time for them to etch their name in Florida State history. You want to keep that going.
Good punt here from the returning Alex Mastromano, and Malik Benson getting the look in punt return. The season opener overseas. College game day will be there. Pete will be there for Georgia Tech and BC right out of the chute.
Yes, 2 really good matchups there. ACC matchups as well. Georgia Tech, they're bringing their quarterback back. They got a lot of confidence. They were able to win their bowl game. They're feeling good about themselves. Had a solid spring as well. Boston College, Thomas Castellanos, he gave Florida State some upsets or some fits last year against that defense. Again, that red bandana game. Boston College had FSU up against the ropes, but the Noles were able to win. So they're going to have to come out the firing blocks week 0 playing their best football. On top of that, going overseas to play that game. So a lot of focus and a lot of attention is going to have to go into that one.
And you've done that before in your playing career, whether it was Mexico City, whether it was overseas, London, Toronto as well, even going out of the country.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not so much the travel, it's more so the time zone change. Once in a lifetime opportunity to go to Europe and see and try different foods and things like that. But ultimately, you want to come back from that trip with the win.
DJ Uiagalelei took off to midfield, and now on first down, he sets up Keziah Holmes, who had the fumble earlier. He's getting some work here with Roydell Williams, Jalen Lucas featured as well. And I don't think we've seen Lawrence Toafili since the touchdown run.
Yeah, and they might shut down Toafili here. If there's any tweak or any potential injuries, again, we don't know that, but if that is something that's going on, they'll probably shut him down. It's not much for him to prove here at this point in the spring showcase.
Worth noting, no freshman Cam Davis, another running back who they're high on, the 221-pounder, is out today due to injury. Uiagalelei rifles one complete to Darion Williamson, the fifth-year senior, and there's the arm talent.
That's not even just the arm talent. It's the balance. It's the patience, the ability to stay right there firm in the sweet spot of the pocket. That ability at 6'5", 255, 260 pounds to stand in there and unleash a rocket.
His third completion of 20-plus yards. He is built like a creative player.
He really is. And he looks like one, too, especially with that cool jersey on.
There's Holmes over in the shoulder, trying to finish a run for a touchdown. 20 yards, and he ran over Shy Brown.
Once you get inside that 5-yard line, you see that paint there for the end zone. You're going to do a little bit of extra to go in there and get a tug. And again, this starts because of the throw by DJU, the protection by the offensive line. When you have a big play, usually the next play or the play after that one ends up being a touchdown. But again, a really good set there by the Florida State offense. Defense going to want to get one back there.
Holmes in his third year now in Tallahassee after transferring in from Penn State. Guy who got some more work in the Orange Bowl against Georgia last season. Yeah, they're excited about the skill guys. Even though you lose Benson, Coleman, Johnny Wilson, and Jaheim Bell, the names that they were probably most excited about yesterday, to me, sounded like Lawrence Toafili, Jalen Lucas, Malik Benson would probably be the first three headliners. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I would also add Ja'Kai Douglas as well, a player, a receiver who was able to come in and make some big catches. I remember against Pitt, he had some up the sideline. He was some spray fades. He was up there going up and making some big one-on-one matchup catches. And again, he's a 5'9" receiver, but he plays like he's 6'4". So, look, I tell you what, this offense has so many different weapons where they can go out there and beat you a multitude of ways.
It's been a really productive offense last couple of years. 2 straight years as the ACC's highest scoring offense, led by Mike Norvell and Alex Atkins.
You know where a lot of that came from too, Mike, is the efficiency that Florida State's offense played with last year. And of course, that had to do with the veteran quarterback, Jordan Travis, but the running backs, the offensive line, the receivers. There's even some draft tape of Keon Coleman blocking for Trey Benson down the field 40 yards. Like, that's the kind of stuff, those effort plays that when you have a coach like Norvell, where you're just implementing that every single day, how you go about your work, how you do the small things, and it shows up on tape, and that's why they won so many games.
In college football. Here's a flip to the edge. And a good burst for Jalen Lucas. Let's go down to Pete Thamel, who's got more on this offense.
Well, Coach Norvell has the ability and the openness to creating offenses that fit the player, and that's so important because there's coaches where if you come in, they want you to run their style of offense, and that's the only way. It's their way or the highway. But I think Coach Norvell is one that he sees what he has as talent. He understands his quarterbacks. He understands his offensive line. He understands his receivers, and he calls to their strengths instead of trying to get them to assimilate something that they're not necessarily comfortable doing. And I've had that. I've had both. I've had coaches that call things that I know I love, and then I've had coaches that kind of make you adjust to them. And I think Coach Norvell does a great job of creating things that these players like.
It was real interesting talking to Mike Norvell about the portal process with DJU as Jalen Lucas follows up a good Sam Singleton run. They sat down together, DJ and Mike, and they watched 3 games from last year. Uiagalelei's best, an average game, and then his worst statistical game. And Mike Norvell said to us, I wanted to hear him and his thought process. And then also, I wasn't going to have him come here unless we could make him better.
Absolutely. And again, that match, I think, is one that's made in heaven because you got a coach and a coordinator who's going to call things specifically to DJU, but also DJU's open to coaching. Again, this man's played a lot of college football. He's had success as well. People can say, hey, look, it hasn't worked here, it hasn't worked there. He's led teams to ACC championship games. He's won a lot of games in the ACC. He's been and played in the Pac-12 and has some success. So now you got a marriage between two people who both have a chip on their shoulder, who want to go out there and try to win a lot of games. And at the end of the day, that's the main thing. But I just feel like Coach Norvell does a great job of having relationships with his players, and even the QB coach, Tony Tokar's very important in the maturation of these quarterbacks as well, whether it was Jordan Travis and now with his current quarterbacks, Brock Glenn, DJU, and Luke Cromenholt.
For even their summer work, so you see them very close by. DJ Uiagalelei. Here's a pitch to the edge, and with some speed.
Oh, yeah.
That was Deuce Spann, who you asked the question yesterday, who's the fastest guy on the team, or rather Jaylen Brown. He's a guy who is known for his speed and explosiveness.
Absolutely. A transfer out of LSU, bringing a whole bunch of speed to this offense again. And, you know, something I noticed about the speed guys is that these men are very durable. That was something that Coach Atkins talked about. Sometimes when you have the dudes who are really, really fast, they're known as track guys. They pop hamstrings, they have ankles, all these kinds of issues. But he said the real speedsters on this football team have been durable and tough and been able to stay out there on the football field to get those reps.
Yeah, Brown from LSU, former number 62 recruit in the ESPN 300. Teammates there with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, of course. And Mike Norvell said he's got home run hitting ability. Inside the 5, Trevor Jackson with a give to Jalen Lucas, and he gets swallowed up into the teeth of the defense.
It's a good stop by the defense right there. 45, Lamont Green Jr. coming off the edge. Another legacy player. Lamont, his dad, Green, all ACC fullback back in the 90s. I'm sure he's very proud to see his young man out there making plays like that.
So, with the turnover that ends the first.
I had a great team. We had some really fun years here too, man. You know, Jimbo Fish was obviously the head coach, took over for the legend Bobby Bowden. And, you know, I think back on that time, it helped me mature into a man, not just as a football player, but also the education I got. It's part of the School of Communications here and had some great professors. And now I'm working in media. So, again, you know, so much is talked about transfer portal and NIL and all these different things that these student athletes have the opportunities to do. If you take your education serious, that's something you can always rely back on when you're done playing football, and you can make the choice to do that.
Last season, of course, just so special with a dominant defense that kept opponents below 50% passing. They got it done without Jordan Travis in the ACC championship. You and I both think now, and both said then, that they should have been in the college football playoff.
Absolutely.
And we asked Mike Norvell, how have you processed that? Of course, it's something that is going to stay with him forever. He has said it. And he said, look, it's a terrible feeling to end what was a really special run. And he said, I know there's guys probably on our team and outside noise as well that will use it as a rallying cry. He said he's not approaching it that way. But he said to us, look, do our guys have an edge? Absolutely, there's no question.
No question. And that edge should propel them into this 2024 season. And, you know, the downside to that situation was that there was still a lot of great players on this football team that worked hard, that still fought and scratched and clawed to get those wins, even without their star quarterback. And they should have been afforded the opportunity to play for a national championship. But it is what it is. It's in the rear view, and this football team is looking forward to 2024.
Quarter number 2 starts with DJ Uiagalelei pulling it from Lawrence Toafili.
Or even Jordan Travis when he was here to get 20 or 30 yards. Just give me 5 yards, get down, protect yourself, and let's move on and move the chains.
Ripped one into a tight window, incomplete to the tight end Kyle Morlock with Justin Cryer, guy who's in the top 5 linebacker mix for Adam Fuller in coverage.
Yeah, great coverage there by Juice Cryer. Now, fun fact here, LJ Cryer is his brother, basketball player from Houston, so pretty cool track there with some family ties, but again, a really good pass breakup. And another player, 2023 academic all-ACC player from last year, handling in the books too.
A linebacker room that, like we talked about, replaces not only Kalen DeLoach, but also Tatum Bethune. Across the middle, and it's Malik Benson on the hookup with DJU.
That is exactly what I want to see right there, Mike.
DJU 7 of 14 for 100 yards, and he gives it here to Toafili.
It's a good play right there in the backfield by the defense. Again, the main thing is you want to set the edge, but you also want to have your 1 and your 3 technique. The interior defensive lineman holding the point so the center and the guard, they can't get up to that second level and block the linebackers. Really good job right there by KJ Sampson, I believe, number 56.
The guy that Braden Fisk told Pete is his breakout pick, right beside Tomiwa Durojaye, the West Virginia transfer.
And again, Joshua Farmer, he is out today. So imagine, again, the rotation of defensive linemen that you're going to have here at Florida State. Very, very talented group.
Conrad Hussey's in on the stop on Roydell Williams. Yeah, you think about the D-line. Pat Payton is primed for a big season, talking with these coaches. And then early on, we saw plays from Marvin Jones Jr.
Think about who Coach Norvell has had here at that position. Jared Verse, Jermaine Johnson. Again, Patrick Payton, who's currently here right now. So many great defensive ends. So that's high praise from your head coach. Again, for a young man that started his career at Georgia, decided to come back to home at Florida State. And again, I say home because his dad, Marvin Jones Sr., is a legend here at FSU. He had this scary picture where he had this visor and the big shoulder pads back in the 90s. We always look at that thing like, man, that's how the linebackers looked back then? So it's pretty cool to have his son here back at FSU.
Yeah, Junior's got the nasal strip.
Oh, yeah.
That's good look.
Yeah,
you mean business.
No
if you
question.
got that.
No question. Yeah, man. He looks like a creative player, too. Big guy right there.
6'5", 257. They want him up near 265. DJU finds Jackson West, who hangs onto it, and he's got a first down. The tight end involved again.
Another first down and a great strike by DJU, and also really solid protection by this offensive line.
Clean pocket. Uyunglele back shoulder incomplete, intended for the former top 30 recruit, Hakeem Williams. Fair to say that of all the things you wanted to see today about this team, that with Uyunglele, it's about that rhythm, that timing, and in large part the accuracy.
Yeah, and look, when you have accuracy, it comes from your footwork, it comes from your timing. And Coach Norvell talked about that. That's something that he, Coach Tony Tokars, the QB coach, have been repping with all these quarterbacks. Timing, timing, timing. And it was something that I saw grow with Jordan Travis. Now he's about to be an NFL quarterback. And the main thing for DJU is that piece. If he can keep his feet tied with his eyes, he's going to be just fine this year.
Roydell Williams with a pitch to the edge.
And again, all these guys are trying to find their spot. Some new players, looks like we got a saw blitz right here. Now pay attention to this, Mike. So there might potentially be no safety in the middle of the field. And so now DJU is going to go up to the line of scrimmage, potentially make a check, might slide the line left or right, and then take a shot here. Might have a touchdown.
KJ Kirkland is the safety blitzing, so middle of the field incomplete. Intended for Darion Williamson. You got to love that DJ saw what you saw.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not just speed, it's not just the size, but it's also now the ability. And again, when you have all out, there's no help on the inside, so DBs will start cheating in just a little bit. So I like the whole process of that play. Even though it wasn't a touchdown, it was good by the offense and very good by the defense.
Timeout was called by the offense before a potential delay of game.
Also, sometimes those are coverage sacks. And when you have DBs that are long like that, it's really hard for the quarterback to let that thing go.
On third down,
that's one of them,
there's
right
a coverage sack.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. The DBs all over the receivers makes the QB hold the ball a little bit longer, and then your linebacker could come free, potentially not just get a sack, but maybe even draw that football loose.
A.J. Cottrell and Aaron Hester for a loss of 11. So this from 42 for Ryan Fitzgerald, who's going to leave Florida State with 3 degrees. Last year was 19 for 21. We told you, just an awesome story of redemption after 12 for 20 the year before. Just misses on this one.
It's a rare miss.
Here again late in the second quarter.
Mike, you think you can long snap?
You know what? No.
No?
I don't.
Me neither.
I've tried
I don't think I could either.
It's really fun, but no. This is Jalen Lucas, and he rips off a big one.
That's a tough position, and nobody talks about the long snapper unless they mess up a snap, right?
Exactly.
So it's a lot of high-stakes position right there.
For Mason Arnold, the goal is to never be mentioned.
Literally.
Again now.
Because if you get mentioned, people are upset at you.
Yeah, so we got to give him some love right now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, Lucas ripped one off of 20-plus, and then Byron Turner got in.
OC Alex Atkins says, Thomas likes to eat his lunch in the tight end coach's office. I mean, he's a student of the game, and as a freshman to have those types of habits, instead of just eating down there with your teammates, which you should do every now and then, if you get a free 30 minutes to go up to the room, learn some tricks of the trade, maybe work on some protections, things that you got to clean up for practice, those are invaluable reps to use as a young player. It's very good of him.
Alex Atkins said Landon Thomas is in there every day doing that.
Yep.
And
it's good stuff, man.
Really trying to make his mark.
Yeah, no question. I mean, he loves football, and when you're a young freshman, you try to soak up as much information as you can, especially if we know that our number is going to be called at some point in this season, and number 18, Landon Thomas, is going to be counted on quite a bit.
August 24th in Dublin. All right, might be our last look at DJ Uiagalelei today. He's 8 for 17 for 118 yards and tried to connect with Ja'Kai Douglas, one of the guys you mentioned.
Got to get that football up again, a potential big play. Ja'Kai Douglas might still be running if that ball is up in his chest. And that's the real, maybe the first or the second throw that I've seen DJ just be a little bit off the mark. And if you're not comfortable throwing it on the run, set up real quick with your feet, get that ball off, because the main thing is you just want to get it to your receiver so he can do the rest of the work.
So 2:11 to go here in the second of 2 quarters of scrimmage action. And Uiagalelei finds Douglas this time. The 5th-year senior had that big game at Pitt in November you mentioned when Coleman and Wilson were out.
Yeah, another player, 2-time academic All-ACC.
This is a 2-minute timeout.
And he's going to be huge for this offense again. His brother, Jalen Lucas, also part of this team now, just transferred in from Indiana. We've had it forever in the NFL, and it really just streamlines your communication. You get maybe 10 to 15 seconds as a coach to bark out the call, and then also give some quick tips to the quarterback. Hey, watch for cover 3 right here. Watch for the defensive end backing up. And even to the defense, watch the alignment of this receiver. And we talked to Coach Fuller about that. He said he had to learn how to use it too, because sometimes he's too wordy in his play calls. He now learned, okay, maybe I just give a signal, a blue, or a code word that then tells you a multitude of things. But I think that's going to be great for college football. Also, the 2-minute warning being implemented too.
Yeah, so we just did go through that 2-minute warning. Here closing down the second. Uiagalelei rifles left side and incomplete. Darion Williamson, the intended target, and good coverage from Kai Bates, true freshman, top 150 recruit.
Yep, true freshman right there, number 14, coming in, making a play out of Orlando. And again, he's only played DB for 1 year. Again, one of those guys that in high school, standout player. So it's really, really nice to see a 6'2" freshman corner come up and make a play like that.
And more of that length. 3rd down, pressure comes. Uiagalelei finds Ja'Kai Douglas, and he wiggles forward for a 1st down.
And see, that's playing quarterback right there. You throw a 5-yard pass, and he ends up making you right by getting a 1st down, splitting the defenders right there.
14 yards, clock running here in a 2-minute tight drill. Sideline throw, and that is caught by Kentron Portier. The 5th-year seniors battled some injuries here this spring, made the catch on Jabril Rawls.
I remember hearing an interview with Azariah Thomas. He said, look, Kentron Portier is the back shoulder king, does a great job, and look, kind of sneaky fast, makes you think he's a little bit slower or faster than what you might think. And as soon as he sets you up with that speed, the ball's right there on his back shoulder.
Portier now wearing number 1 this year. You always got to get reacclimated to the jersey changes. Uiagalelei up the seam and incomplete, trying to find Brian Courtney, the junior tight end from Ashburn, Virginia, in this 2nd quarter. Uiagalelei trying to set up the screen, and they couldn't get it to Roydell Williams. 3rd down.
Don't give the defense a chance to get a hand on it.
Against the Adam Fuller defense. Uiagalelei 3 for 8 on this drive.
Free play.
Got a free play, wants Portier. Incomplete. Flag flies. It is defensive PI.
Calling for the flag up here.
On Edwin Joseph.
Absolutely, and I love this right here. You saw a freeze, and we call this a freeze because the offensive line did not move.
Defense number 33. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
1:04 left, 2nd quarter, from the 19 for Uiagalelei. Jalen Lucas, brother of Ja'Kai Douglas, we mentioned, for 2 yards.
Number 24, KJ Kirkland, coming up laying the boom right there. Redshirt freshman, playing behind his shoulder pass from the safety position. Very good stuff.
Officials timeout.
That is TJ Ferguson, one of the newcomers on the offensive line, who's down. The Alabama transfer, imported on the line along with Florida Transin, who heads off. DJ Uiagalelei to the sideline, got it complete, and connected with Landon Thomas with 35 seconds to go.
It's a good shot right there by DJ out in the flat, and also very, very good coverage. Cover 2 corner right there, Edwin Joseph coming up, making a big play. to not give up anything deep for this offense.
It's now 3rd down and 5.
Oh, we got a middle of the field safety here, so might be working the outside.
Uyunglele looked that way, throws that way.
Smart.
And Thomas is out of bounds. He got rid of it. Now it's 4th down. DJU 4 for 10 on that drive. This from 31 for Fitzgerald. And he punches it right on through. And our excellent, hard-working crew. 24 seconds to go in the second. And Trevor Jackson on a corks one downfield and broken up. Intended for Jalen Brown, but there is a flag. Fentrell Cypress was in coverage.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
All ACC returning starter at corner.
Love the ball right there by Trevor Jackson, letting it fly. And sometimes that's what happens when you put a ball up, puts the DB in the bind where then he panics a little bit and he just tries to get a hand on the receiver so he doesn't get beat for a big gain, especially considering there's just a few seconds left here in this 2nd quarter. But sometimes you're not mad at a PI. Give up 10 yards, move on to the next play.
On 1st down against a 4-man rush, Jackson escapes, plants, look downfield, and he will just take some yardage, ducking out at the 44.
And again, another almost coverage sack built by the DBs here at Florida State. White on rice as far as their coverage on some of these receivers. And that's the defensive lineman's best friend. If you got DBs that stay on their man for 3-4 seconds within the down, those defensive linemen start licking their chops and say, hey, man, we're going to do a little TE stunt here on the next one and try to get a sack. Let's see if that happens.
And the early enrollee walk-on quarterback, Trevor Jackson, at the controls. With Demetric Stevens, the Tallahassee native, beside him. Jackson to the air, and he checks it down to Brian Courtney.
Good ball.
Got toward the sideline, close to a 1st down. They've added a second back on the clock in crucial breaking news. So 3 seconds to work with for Trevor Jackson.
It's a good practice play right here, too. Hail Mary situation.
He launches.
Got a chance.
Toward the end zone and batted away.
And again, that's a very good rep. Thankfully, no one got hurt on that play, but sometimes in games you have to have that Hail Mary situation built in. So it's good for the receivers, good for the offensive line to understand what to do there, and also a great knockdown by the DBs.
All right, so that does it for the 2nd quarter of action. Again, the grand finale is coming up. Pete Thamel's going to try to wrangle perhaps DJ Uyunglele. We'll see who else we can find on Mike Norvell's sidelines. Spring Showcase in Tallahassee continues after this. .40 career starts. He's now at his 3rd school, and I ask you, E.J. Manuel, how would you assess his day?
A sharp day. I thought DJ has done a great job of showing a multitude of throws. The deep ball, of course, that we all know that he can hit, but also tempering some of his throws, being accurate on some slants, right there putting on the top of the head of a very good corner, Fentrell Cypress. And again, we talk about the rhythm and the footwork. Being able to stay within the phase, all those things timing up great with the passing concepts. And again, ripping out back shoulder fades right there. Tell you what, DJ looks like he is capping off a great spring. And again, he's going to continue to gain confidence within this offense as the summer continues to go, making a solid decision right there, not putting the ball in harm's way, taking off, getting a 10-yard gain.
You got Tommy Pauly, had the block punt in the Sugar Bowl in the 1st quarter that year, an All-American in 2000. So these coaches, alternating series, calling offense and then defense. Quarterback is Dylan McNamara, redshirt sophomore from Naples, was trying to connect with Demetric Stevens.
And that's the 3rd time I've seen 55 Jaden Parrish come up and make a nice PBU right there. Again, a true freshman out of Delray Beach doing a really good job of, once that ball's in the air, coming in there like a heat-seeking missile, getting a hand on it. Trying to earn himself some playing time this season.
Yeah, amen. You saw Alex Atkins looking on while the coaches take over here. 3rd down, and McNamara sells it incomplete. So they're going for it on 4th down and 10. McNamara, nowhere to go. Advantage defense as Grady Kelly, the Colorado State transfer, by the way, is getting married next month in Boulder, got home.
Yes, sir. So that's a win right there for Tommy Polley.
I wish I could grow a beard.
Yeah.
First
Someday,
things
though.
first. Yeah, someday.
Someday.
And then maybe some
You're
grays.
still young, Mike. It's coming.
That is over the middle and incomplete from Trevor Jackson, intended for Brian Courtney. This is second down for Trevor Jackson. Throws it low, intended for Camden Fryer, speedy freshman from Lake City and a legacy Nole.
And again, that might have even been a sack on that play right there. Number 14 striking in Kai Bates once again from the corner position on a, call that a corner cat blitz right there. Young quarterback's not going to see that one. Could have been a blow up in a live game. But again, good practicing habits too, and that's not something that we talked about. You know, when you're playing in a spring showcase or you're going against your offense, your defense, you still want to take care of those guys. Those are your teammates. You don't want to take any liberties out there and end up hurting the guy.
No doubt.
Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. It's third down.
It's on Ben Ostazuski.
And see, that's a great coaching point because, again, you got a young quarterback in there, a true freshman in Trevor Jackson. Maybe he's a little iffy in his play calls. Maybe he's a little iffy in the sense of getting up there at the line of scrimmage. So as much as that's a bad play, in the sense of it taking 5 yards away, it's a good coaching point for quarterback and offensive line to sit in there and wait on the call.
Jackson, incomplete. It was tipped on its way to Xavier Johnson.
Go over there overseas to play a football game, but Georgia Tech is no slouch. And they finished their season extremely strong, winning their bowl game, feeling extremely confident about themselves coming into 2024.
It's the Tallahassee native Michael Grant. Went to high school just about 15 minutes northeast of here, a legacy Nole as well, taking over at quarterback. Yeah, and then Cade Klubnik and Clemson, they'll be here in Tallahassee on October 5th.
How about that game?
Yeah.
How about that game? DJU's former team coming to town in Tallahassee. And by that time, we'll have a good feel of who Florida State is. We'll also have a great feel for who Clemson is. And usually that game is sometimes determining who's going to have that opportunity to battle it out for the ACC Championship in December. Both teams bringing back strong defenses, so it's going to be a great one.
Grant rolling left.
You had him.
Will tuck it and go toward the sideline in what is the third of what we expect to be 6 drives here. Well, DJU's day is done. He's standing by with Pete.
I'm here with DJ Uiagalelei, his first official day wearing the spear, wearing the cool turquoise jersey. How did it feel out here today, DJ?
Man, honestly, it was a blessing. Thank my God, my Heavenly Lord Savior Jesus Christ for giving me an opportunity to be out here and a wonderful opportunity to be here at this prestigious university, Florida State. The fans are great today. Obviously, we got the brand new turquoise uniform on. It was great, man. I had a wonderful time there today.
But we saw some of what you could be in this offense today. What do you think you showed today that can highlight what this offense can look like this year?
For me, man, I feel like I did a good job getting to my playmakers, giving them a chance with the footballs. Obviously, we got to clean some stuff up, and I got to clean some stuff up. But the biggest thing, man, take it one day at a time. Continue to keep getting better. Continue to build the relationships between the coaches, the players. But, man, I'm just thankful for this wonderful coaching staff, Coach Norvell, Coach Tokarts, for giving me the opportunity to be here playing this wonderful team, man.
4 short months before you guys kick off the 2024 football season in Dublin, Ireland. What should America expect from the Noles that night?
I think we'll be a great football team, man. You know, you just have to wait to see, but we're really excited. We got a great group of seniors here. The players here at Florida State, man, they do an unbelievable job embracing the history, embracing the tradition we have here. And Coach Norvell, man, he's one of one, man. So it's a pleasure to be able to play for him and to play with a group of guys on this team, man. It's been a wonderful pleasure so far.
E.J. Manuel, former Nole, up in the booth, commented today that your footwork appeared tighter. That's one of the things that Mike Norvell has done. Walk us through a little bit of the technical things you've learned here.
Well, I appreciate you, E.J. Coach Norvell, man, he's a technician. Same thing with Coach Tokarts. I appreciate those two. But the biggest thing with those guys, man, they want fundamentally sound. As long as my feet is in the right rhythm, the right place at the right time, then the ball will come out in the right position. But they've done a great job coaching me hard and then giving me a great knowledge and great wisdom to be able to play the position.
All right. Much like his feet, DJ Uiagalelei in the right place at the right time. Thanks, guys.
Great stuff. And a good assist from EJ. And I'll ask you this now. All right, so you finished spring ball. They do have one more practice to come technically, number 15 for them. What are the next few months like until Dublin with College Game Day there? for a college football player, but really for QB1 as well.
Yeah, for QB1 specifically, you go back to the drawing board. You look at some of the things that you got to clean up from the spring. You start getting your receivers out there because that's the time where the coaches are going out recruiting, doing what they got to do. So it's really on the players to police themselves, make sure everybody's still showing up to class, finish up this spring semester the right way. But the main thing is you want to pick up where you left off from spring. So don't just go up and look at the next 2 or 3 weeks as, hey, I'm going to just hang out. Nah, you got to stay in the weight room. And some of those times it's optional, but we all know it's not really optional. The coaches want you in there getting that work in, and I guarantee you this Florida State team, they're ready to keep that work going.
They get home on Dylan McNamara for a sack. All right, let's pick up the final pieces here today from what we've seen. We've talked a lot about DJ Uiagalelei. What else in particular has caught your eye or from what you've learned the last few days?
Well, I'll start with the defense. I think they've done an excellent job, especially the DBs, staying on some of these receivers, allowing these defensive linemen to get back there for some coverage sacks. We've seen linebackers, DJ Lundy, again, a huge get back for this defense, but also for this team as far as the leadership ability, being a fifth-year senior. Guys like Blake Nicholson at the defensive spot, Justin Cryer, him popping out there, Sean Murphy as well. And then for the offensive line, super solid all day. We've got a bunch of fifth-year seniors up there. Receiver position also looked really sharp. Jakad Douglas. Hopefully Malik Benson is not injured too bad. Want to get him back as soon as possible in the fold. And then I was impressed with the running back group.
Yeah.
We didn't have a whole lot from Lawrence Toafili, but the time that we did see him still looked like he's in midseason form. Saw Keziah Holmes go out there and make some plays. Rodell Williams come from Alabama, getting the touchdown run. So overall, great day for the Florida State Seminoles, looking really good here to wrap up the spring.
Yeah, I think the names that were kind of pushed with the most excitement yesterday when we asked questions of the entire coaching staff, Lawrence Toafili, they feel like is a different guy.
Yep.
Took a big jump. They feel like Jalen Lucas can be very dynamic at running back. Malik Benson, obviously the health question with him. You'll hear from Mike Norvell at some point here over the next few days, and hopefully good news with him. And then with defense, you mentioned a lot of the names there and how they stuck out to you. I go back to what Adam Fuller said to us yesterday. He feels like there's a lot of really good players who have been in this program, who have been biding their time. And now he said, in the case of DJ Lundy, but in others as well, you need your really good players to get better and take that superstar jump.
Absolutely, and a guy like that is Patrick Payton. I mean, he started out his career here at Florida State, being the ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year.
And Pat Payton actually asked the coaches, hey, what's the record? And Adam Fuller loves what he's got.
Oh, yeah.
And Pat Payton, who's put on anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds, depending on who you ask. And he looks poised to have a big-time season. He's had 2 really good ones the last couple.
And, Mike, here's the thing. As a quarterback, when you're watching tape of this Florida State defense, when you see a defensive end like Patrick Payton or even a Marvin Jones Jr., when they're tall like that, it kind of stays in your mind because you know, hey, look, if I throw this ball on the line, it might get tipped. And, again, that's a way that you can impact the quarterback. If you can't get home for a sack, all right, well, cool, stand right there. You're already tall enough. Could play basketball if you wanted to and put your hands up and tip that ball in the air. And we all know tips equals picks on defense.
A tip ball is a pick ball. Big stick there on the incompletion. And finishing that hit for the defense was Christian White.
Yes, sir. Christian White coming up laying the wood right there. But for a quarterback coaching point, you got to have that ball. Jackson's probably going to get coached up on a little bit in the film room. You got to take care of your backs, your tight ends, your receivers, and protect them when they're out there in the flat and they can't look.
Got to look at Marvin Jones Jr. over there as well. This is 4th down for Trevor Jackson. Winding down this back and forth. Finds a connection to Jeremiah Giedris, the redshirt senior from in-state.
Another
Josh
really good
Farmer
stop
there.
Yeah.